If you want the definition of a heartbreak, well then at 6:22 p.m. IST, you are experiencing it right now. For the billions of football, or if you may say any kind of sports that you follow, this has to be heartbreak, because the India women's hockey team have lost 1-0 to Japan. And because of this result, they have not only just finished in 4th position, their dream of going to Paris 2024 is evaporated. I mean, Savita is absolutely inconsolable. You can see the live visuals that are going on.
Yeah.
They are gutted.
There's disappointment in one camp and obvious jubilation in the other. Savita, by the way, as Siddharth rightly says, is absolutely inconsolable at the moment. And one can say that the pain that had begun, let's say, from yesterday,
Yes,
has now extended over to Friday as well. Why? Because you saw Sumit Nagal first bow out of the Australian Open. Then you saw the men's football team in the AFC Asian Cup in many ways being knocked out also, one can say, but they're all but out of the Asian Cup as well, AFC Asian Cup, after a 3-0 loss to Uzbekistan. And after that, you obviously saw the Indian women's hockey team lose their qualifier semi-final against Germany, only for them to come today all over again, play that
third, fourth place playoff.
As
the favorites, let me add.
As the favorite, Siddharth very rightly says, but Japan, the one fear, and in case you saw our coverage yesterday, that's exactly what we talked about as well. The one fear that you had with Japan was, and which is why we were constantly referring to that match between Germany and Japan that had taken place in the group stage. It was a 1-1 draw. Remember, it was the same Germany that had put 14 goals past Uzbekistan, was the clear favorite from that particular Czech Republic, beg your pardon. But they were frustrated to a 1-1 draw against Japan. So we knew they were going to be very dogged in defense. And boy oh boy, were they not dogged today.
I mean, this was otherworldly defense. India had dominated possession, India dominated circle penetrations, India dominated penalty corner injections as well. But one stat will override everything. 9 penalty corners by India, 0 converted. And this was the same problem which plagued the India men's team also at the start of 2023. Penalty corners, even Harmanpreet Singh, one of India's ultimate players, ultimate drag flickers in the world, he had struggled. And because of that, India got knocked out in the 4th round in the World Cup. But here today, I mean, in the space of 2 days, India were on the high after beating the Black Sticks 3-1.
Yeah.
But then, and you beat Italy also, but then 2 matches against Germany and Japan. And Japan, why India started as the favorites? India are ranked number 6, Japan are ranked number 12.
Yes.
And you had not lost to Japan for 2 years.
You could see, so India ranked number 6, as Siddharth pointed out. Germany number 5. So 6 versus 5 it was yesterday. That's a contest of evens, one can say, that because the margin, let's say, between a 4 and 5 is barely any, let's say. A 1 and 3, you can say there's a big gap, but 5 and 6, you'd like to believe that there isn't that big a gap. And it didn't appear to be that big a gap yesterday as well, because remember, India had taken the lead against Germany, only for the Germans then to fight back into the match.
Yep.
But today, for a side that is ranked 6 places below you, 6 places, this again, some introspection and some looking in the mirror will be needed today, because there were opportunities lost, there were opportunities squandered, and that one opportunity that will continue to haunt this Indian hockey team, and I'm talking about the women's hockey team here, is going to be that last ditch chance that fell to one of the better players that India has had over these last few games in the qualifiers that you've seen.
That is Salima Tete.
Salima Tete scored a beautiful couple of goals in the lead up to today's match, but when you needed her to put the ball into the net, she didn't. She had a glorious opportunity playing on the left flank, got the ball, had a little bit of time as well, one can say, but the finishing that she has, for her to be unable to finish, is going to be a big wound that is going to take some time to heal.
And it is a big wound, because look at it. When in the 6th minute, I'll have to check out the phone because I don't want to misspell their names. There are 2 names. that will ensure that Japan's qualification has been made very memorable. One, in the 6th minute, you had Kana Urata, who scored from the penalty corner. But for me, the player of the match, irrespective of what it has to be Eika Nakamura. Eika Nakamura, the goalkeeper. She was sublime. There was one deflection from that angle, point blank, and she defended it in a brilliant, brilliant way.
You're talking about the third quarter, was it?
Yes. That third quarter, that otherworldly save that she did. Eika Nakamura and Kana Urata. Urata has always been excellent with her penalty corners, and today, not just the miss by Salima Tete in the 59th minute. I mean, how ironical. The last 3 minutes always seemed to hurt India. Yesterday, 3 minutes to go, you had an Indian player lose the ball, and Germany's Schopterman managed to get the goal, which ensured they were 2-1 up. India bounced back.
Again, contrasting, because again, today you were hoping, and only because you'd seen the game yesterday, you felt that, okay, India, again, which is why you thought till that very, last, till the very end, you thought that, India have a chance over here because this team knows how to make a comeback. They did it yesterday. Again, last ditch effort. It was Ishika Chaudhary who got that equalizer. Today, though, again, those couple of chances which went begging, and that's going to haunt India.
It is going to haunt India, and I'll tell you why this loss is going to be very, very...
And remember the time, Siddharth, we were discussing again, such drama happening over the last few minutes. Lalrang Siami getting the ball, realizing, I should say, not realizing the fact that she had an extra couple of seconds to get the ball under control. But what she do? She thought that she was under pressure from one of the defenders, went for a shot straight up when the ball was still in the air. Could have got the ball down, got it under control, and then sort of, picked the gap or wherever she wanted to put it in the net.
That's the thing. Pressure can do such weird things. I mean, see, everybody pointed out, Lalrang Siami could have actually gotten the ball down. Just the distance between the goal and here was this
She needed 2 more touches. One to get the ball down, the other would have been at the goal.
That's the problem. And that is why now India, I will rule those, remember this one stat, 9 penalty corners, 0 converted. And remember, both the games against Germany and Japan, the manner of your loss will haunt you for a very long time because you had to dominate 3 aspects. Circle penetrations, possession, penalty corners. In both the instances, when you look at Germany, when you look at Japan, India dominated in all of them. But pressure, the pressure quotient, India just could not take it around against...
If you were to ask me, Siddharth, I think I'd be more hurt, let's say, if I was in that camp right now, I'd be more hurt with what I experienced yesterday. And I have my reasons for it because not one but twice in the game, I was ahead of my opponent. Here, I was trailing.
Right from 6 minutes on.
From the 6th minute, I was trailing the game for the next good 65 odd minutes. But then, yesterday I had my nose in front not once but twice. Once in regulation time, the other time in the penalties. I was ahead and I squandered opportunities. I failed to secure my lead. I failed to ensure that the cushion that I have, it remains till the very end. Rather, I didn't just let my opponent, come to level terms, but take the lead as well. So I'm going to be more disappointed with what I saw yesterday.
Absolutely. You missed 2 golden opportunities yesterday and you botched it up in a big, big way. And here, against Japan, against whom you've not lost for the last 5 games, against whom you defeated them 4-0 in the Women's Asians Champions Trophy. All of that you put into, and this loss in front of your home fans in Ranchi, it's going to take a lot. And remember, this loss is going to undo all your effort that you put in for the past 8 years. Remember, in 2016, the women's team qualified for the Olympics for the very first time. They had qualified for the 2016 Rio Olympics. And then after that in 2021, you came within minutes of securing a bronze medal.
Historic bronze.
And that was an indication. Pressure. It just could not happen. And because of that, it is a big loss, and you did not win the gold medal in the Asian Games. That's the only way you could have gotten the direct entry. You finished with a bronze, which seems like a very empty bronze at this point in time, and you had to go through the qualifiers. You had to finish in the top 3. You didn't even do that. And the likes of Germany, USA and Japan. Now consider this, Harshit. USA are ranked 24. Japan are ranked 12. Germany are ranked 5. India, the number 6 ranked team,
Goes missing.
are not there. That is even more galling. And now, what is the future for Yannick Schuppmann? We just don't know. Because remember, Yannick Schuppmann, she had taken over after Shud Marine had left the Indian women's hockey team following Tokyo. And that's why now the future is very uncertain for the India women's team now. Because the men now have the only hope for the hockey medal.
Direct qualification for them.
They have qualified and they'll be playing the Four Nations in South Africa. But they face a big uphill task against the Netherlands. But let me just say that before we wind up and we'll take some comments, that this loss is not going to be easy to take for a lot of Indian hockey fans, because you had Savita, you had your best players. Okay, Vandana Kataria's absence probably threw the team into disarray, but you had Salima Tete, Sangeeta Kumari, who were all, Lal Rensiami, all of them were there. All of them were in top form. Yet you could not qualify for the Olympics.
It's a big setback.
It's a huge setback for India women's hockey, and that's why tears will flow today. And because of this now, it's going to be a big problem. And I just don't know how India women's team can overcome this loss, because I am honestly just not able to digest it at this point in time. As a hockey fan, if I have to look at it, for a guy who wants to wish well for all kinds of hockey, this is a dark day.
And why primarily hurt more Siddharth is from an Indian fan perspective. If I follow hockey, is because again I was so close to getting a medal last time around to now not even qualifying despite being one of the top ranked teams. Imagine the 6th best ranked team in the world doesn't get to play in the Olympics.
Yes, that's how brutal this Olympic system is.
Call it tragic travesty of justice or whatever you want to call it, but it's hard.
It is very hard. It's very hard to take. So that's why whatever has happened today, it's a dark day for Indian hockey and for Indian sport in general. Now you've got this gloom. Remember, you've not done well in football. You lost to 3-0 to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, who are, by the way, much lower ranked than Australia, but they blew you out of the park. Now, in order to ensure you stay in contention, you have to beat Syria.
But that also is a long shot because you need to defeat Syria by a margin of about 5 goals, 6 goals for you, because India's goal difference at the moment is -5. You need to be scoring at least 5 to get that goal difference to 0. Maybe another to make it 6 and get that goal difference to 1. But again, it so much depends on the other games as to how they pan out, because what's going to happen is again only 2 teams from all of the groups go forward, but the best of the third placed teams from the other groups, and that too best of 4 best third placed teams will go forward. So you don't know what happens in the other groups, how many goals are going to be, and I was looking at the goal differences. The other side, if you see the other groups that the teams plays number 3 and 4 at the moment have a goal difference of about -1, -2, but then again India's is the worst, if not
So there is this pall of gloom that has descended on Indian sport at this time. I mean, less said about cricket the better, because cricket you get all the facilities but you underwhelm. And in hockey in particular, India were on that upward trajectory. But in the last 2 years, if you look at it, forget Asian Games glory. Yes, Asian Games glory is in this place because you get direct Olympic qualification. But World Cup, the India men's team didn't do well. India, when it came to the Olympic qualifiers, haven't done well. So it'll take a lot of time for us to digest this, and tomorrow when the sun rises, it will be a new day. But for us, there are ashes as to what do you do now? We wanted to support 2 teams, not only 1 team, and that too the men's team who will play in Paris now directly. But for the India women's team, I really feel for Savita Punia. I mean, she is one of the best. For 7 to 8 years, she's given her blood, sweat, toil for all of this. Comfortably one of the best, and now she's not going to play in the Olympics. If you thought the the Tokyo Olympics was worse, I think this will be even worse for her to knowing Savita Punia in that sense. So, Pawan, are there any questions that we can take? Any comments? Only 2. Okay. So that's the situation. I think even the Indian fan is not too happy at this point in time. So
in fact, we will try and take the questions at a later point because we've got the dugout coming up for you guys.
Yes.
So we'll take your leave, but we're back very soon. We're talking about uncertain times. There are uncertain times for a certain Ishan Kishan as well.
Yes.
And that's what we do intend to discuss with you guys. So chip in with your thoughts. We're going to be back in just a short while.
Just about 5 to 7 minutes from now. Bye-bye.
नहीं थे ही नहीं, आपने